Hey guys, what's up? It's the first recording of the Rock Shop podcast. I'm your host, Rye the Tiger. I'm the owner of this shop, and it's going to be really cool, guys. We got two segments an episode. First one's always film, and the next one is a mystery. It could be anything like the game corner for gaming, tabletop for also gaming. Um, yeah, could be anything. It'll be a mystery. But yeah, we're going to start off the film here. And our first customer is.
Hey, Matthew Thomas or Matthew N. Thomas.
What's up with you, man?
Okay. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I mean, as far as anything that's going on with me, just living life and trying to really get myself started with a lot of my like photography and videos. Or I'm not going to say videography yet, but videos. So I have myself set up on YouTube. I have myself set up on Instagram as well as on TikTok. And TikTok's kind of the interesting one these days because my YouTube, some vlogs and such like that, which is kind of like, hey, going through life and doing some stuff and just talking to people. But the TikTok has kind of taken off into a different direction. It hasn't fully like blown up, unfortunately, but I'm doing a thing now where it's kind of like a community RPG, which is kind of funny that you're talking about film and having some gaming stuff because it is kind of a combination of both. Because what I'm doing is I'm having a storyline, and then with that storyline where I record a video, and then at the end of the video, I give three choices. And those three choices I put down in the comments, and whichever one gets the most likes within a certain amount of time is how the story is going to progress. Depending on really just kind of how things fall, it could be, the story progresses in a funny way, story progresses in a very dramatic way, or the story progresses in just kind of like not really going anywhere type of way. But it's all set up so that you're not really choosing, like the player in a sense, which would be like your hero because it's a hero's journey. And it's not like the hero, but you're actually making choices as the guide. So we choose the choices as the guide, and then the guide then gives a quest to the hero. So that's kind of like the bigger thing that's going on these days for me. It's just recording those videos, kind of getting to get myself into that and learn more about recording videos and stepping out of my own comfort zone because I have been very reclusive in a lot of the stuff I do, but trying to really push for this and kind of in a way act out and do these things has been very heavy on me, but it's good. It's really good. And I'm really enjoying it. And I'm not sure if you've watched it yet, but if anybody hasn't, you can check out any of my social media just by looking up Matthew N. Thomas. My website is matthewnThomas.com, or any of my social medias. The only one I think that has any kind of differentiation is my Instagram, which is matthew.n.thomas. So yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast, man.
Yeah, and we'll talk about those links, bring them up again at the end, just to remind
Yeah.
our viewers. But that sounds really cool, man. So basically, like a choose your own adventure story, but community led.
Yep. 100%.
Wow, you get a lot of people joining the stream for that.
Not too many right now. So the first video I did was kind of the one that set it off, and I was just kind of jokingly doing it. I was like, I have this idea, and I literally could not fall asleep. So in the morning, after like I slept only like 3 hours, I got up and I went to the river, and I recorded just a quick skit. When I recorded that, it actually kind of slightly blew up and had a pretty good, interaction, very positive interaction on it. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take this a step further. And then I actually got into, the parts. So there's part one, part two, and part three out right now. And when I started doing that, it got from like, it was originally like the first video was at like 500 views, but they each slowly go up when I release a new video. So the last one was just a little over 1,000 views. And I try not to get too much into analytics or worry about that too much just because I'm not doing it for the analytics, but it is something that I'm watching and I'm like, huh, it's going to blow up. Is it going to blow up? Maybe. And if it does, that'd be cool because I'd love to, get more people onto it, and I'd love to do more stuff with it than just going back and forth with myself.
That's just a really like cool kind of original idea. I gotta hand it to you. I mean, it's that's just fun. I mean, like because you never know what's gonna happen, but you're part of something.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, and I'm gonna just completely honest right here, is that I still don't have an ending figured out. I just don't. I have an idea, and I have more of an idea than when I first recorded the first video, but I kind of have to take it like week by week, which is not the best to do on TikTok, just because TikTok's, it wants consistent content and everything. But what I'm trying to do is not create something that's like just pulling a bunch of random people, but keeping the same people and having the people that are following me and even new people that then follow me actually have more engagement and sit here and become kind of part of this community of really seeing how choices affect how a story will go.
Yeah, I mean that's what like TikTok is so much about, just like discovery and that just building like just these little sub communities you just find anywhere and like ARGs are so big on there, alternate reality games and stuff like that. And I'm the laziest guy on like TikTok. I mean, you follow me. I literally just like crop out my stand-up clips, but then I
It's a
got
way to get out there.
then I got tired. I was like, well, I don't know. I'm not famous yet, so whatever. But man, you keep up the grind. That's cool. Like you're really building something original, you know.
Appreciate it, man. And I just hope to keep going. It's fun. And again, I'm now getting more comfortable with it. So it's becoming even more fun because now I'm just not caring as much as far as how I am acting and what I'm doing and how I'm perceived through the application or anything like that.
Yeah, man, keep it up. Um, that's cool. Like I know you're big into film, and this is a film this is a film podcast. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have my editors cut that part out and redub me. Anyone in the audience who can sound like me, but a little suaver. But yeah, this is a film podcast, man. I know you're big into film. You seen anything good lately?
Unfortunately not. I haven't really had the money to go out and watch any kind of movies. So most of the stuff I've been watching has just been TV shows on Netflix. And a lot of anime. A lot of anime.
Honestly, yeah. I saw Venom 2 the other day. I was like, it was like $17. It was like insane, bro. It's like
Mhm.
I've been watching a lot of like HBO Max or Netflix these days.
Yeah, I mean, they have good stuff and they're creating even more stuff, which is nice. The quality that they produce, as far as just like image quality, is phenomenal. But I do think that there are certain like things on their platforms that do really well, and then other ones that completely flop.
Like, what would you say?
So personally, just because I haven't really been watching too many movies on it, I can't really say a movie that's flopped or that has not done as well. And maybe I was being a little extreme when I said flop. But as far as what's been doing well, I mean, you have, and this is more of a show than a movie, but you have stuff like Squid Games that is doing really well. I think, okay, I do have one that's a little controversial, and that's Seven Deadly Sins, which is technically produced by Netflix. And again, it is a TV show, but it's anime, and I have heard like good and bad stuff about it. Like and it's mainly just kind of personal preference. There are people that just really enjoy it, and other people that just are very offended by it, or I wouldn't say offended per se, but they just aren't as into it as they probably would traditionally watching something like on Crunchyroll or something like that, or that's just not produced by Netflix. But that's I believe a personal bias. I could be wrong
Um, yeah, the guys are gonna be on segment 2, man. They hate that show. I could never get into it. I don't know. You're right. It's like a Netflix original. Although the movie didn't go to Netflix, right?
Yeah, so they have two movies out right now. I watched one, and the movies, when it comes to like anime and stuff like that, it's just like a very long extended episode.
Yeah.
So it's cool to watch, but it's like I don't really know where exactly it fits into storylines and stuff, and it gets a little confusing, especially with the Seven Deadly Sins show. I get confused with how it's set up, and I'm not sure if that's because it's like slightly a foreign type of thing, because I watched a show that is I'm trying to remember the name of it right now. My father got me into it. It's in Spanish, but the way that they do like chapters or like seasons is just set up a little weird to where like sometimes there's only like 5 episodes a season, and then other times there's 20. And I get confused, and I kind of just try to wait until everything's out and then I watch through it. And even then, sometimes I'm just lost with if I watched it in the right order. And that includes with movies, because then I'm like, where does the movie fit in? But I'm also lazy and I don't really look it up to try to find out when a movie fits into the storyline.
It's more convoluted than the Kingdom Hearts storyline.
And
You have to,
I, the funny
I
thing is, I
own
know,
every single console and every single game just to have the chance to understand what's going on.
yeah, and the thing is, so I never played Kingdom Hearts, but I at least know about that it is convoluted, and that is just, it gets so confusing. And like, it's cool that they have all these like types of content and all these things that they're showing to people and be able to provide to people, but I just kind of want a chronological order. And if the people who produce these shows could make it simple and easy to be like, hey, this is how you watch it, that would be nice. Like, let's say for Seven Deadly Sins, they had the episode order, and then in that they had the movie wherever it's supposed to be, and then continue with the episode order. That would be kind of cool. But that's just,
I think that's going to be the main issue with Marvel going forward is like um, just the fact, not even the multiversal stuff, because I imagine that's going to be hard. Like if you don't watch, 5 movies and then you watch one and you're like, wait, I thought Cap died, and, Captain America died, and then, your buddy has to tell you, no, actually, if you watched Marvel, What If Season 2 finale, actually, this is a multi-dimensional Captain America from Dimension 9B, and, I feel like the interesting thing is WandaVision and Loki are both, my hot take, they're both more fascinating than like the movies they're coming out with now. But like, I don't have Disney Plus, and it's like, if I see like Agatha or like any of these characters show up, I feel like it's going to be lost in a lot of viewers, especially the casual ones. And I think like they're doing things people ask for because people want like the Defenders from Netflix to like really tie into the movies, but like there's a reason I think they didn't do that before. Is they're like it's gonna get like so convoluted, and you're just gonna have to like watch everything.
yeah. And for someone who can't watch everything right now, such as myself, like I haven't caught up on Loki, WandaVision, or anything like that because I don't have Disney Plus. So when it comes to these new movies that are going to be coming out, the Spider-Man No Way Home, and then there's a Black Widow movie, but I know that was technically a prequel. But just really anything after this, if I don't watch stuff on Disney Plus, I'm a little afraid I'm going to be pretty lost. Like I'm decently good at least at stringing things together, and I know people that have watched stuff, but I don't really want stuff spoiled. So then if I don't get Disney Plus, it becomes this kind of like cycle of just not watching Marvel anymore because I can't catch up. And I really hope that I will be able to, but I wonder if there are people out there that are going to be in that same situation where they're like, I can't keep up because I can't pay for this, or I can't go and watch this movie right now because I still haven't watched these other ones. The next thing you know, now they're just not into it anymore just because they couldn't keep up with it. I mean, that's kind of what happened with The Walking Dead, is that I kind of fell out of it just because there's so much that was going on, and then I couldn't even just couldn't keep up.
Well, it's like I saw Shang-Chi, and like that was fairly well contained. You really just had to watch like Iron Man 3, but um, I read what happens in Loki, and like that opens a huge like can of worms, and I just think like, um, yeah, I have no idea what they're gonna do because like I mean, because problem one, if you watch the movie, like how is exposition gonna work? Because like you're wasting precious minutes on things like, explaining story, like background information, which is like good, but then you risk the movie like being too long. Um, if characters are just rehashing, that's just redundant for like people who are like the diehard fans who are hanging around. But then you could make like, I don't know, like previously in Marvel Studios, but like you said, I mean, how do you deal with like spoilers? Um, I don't know. It's like I have no idea what they're gonna do. I can't say. I know you haven't seen movies in a while. Um, I can't say much, but in light of events, I'm trying to be as vague as possible. People who know what I'm talking about are going to know what I'm talking about. But with events that transpired and some time ago, it's going to be crazy because like especially like they bring like X-Men the mutants back, like oh great, now I gotta watch like now this isn't anything, this is just an example, not
Okay.
spoiling. Yeah, I'm not spoiling anything. They're making an X-Men movie
Yeah.
like a year or two, but like something like that where okay, you have Hugh Jackman back, but you have Deadpool back. Like, okay, now you gotta watch. Hey, kid, you gotta watch Deadpool 1 and 2 for you to understand, anything going on. And I just think Marvel's just a bubble. I think it's gonna pop.
Yeah, it it probably will. And I mean, I've loved everything that has come out. I've loved, going through the different. I can't remember what they're called. I don't know if they call them. What is it? Parts. Where like they have the different the segmentations of the movies. So it's like Iron Man
Phase,
1 to. You're saying?
phase one, yeah. Phase 1, phase 2,
Oh
phase.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Phase. That's what it was. I'm spacing out. But yeah, the phases. Like I loved how it was set up until Endgame, and then now since they're branching into the TV shows, and it is seeming like it's just gonna, and then we're not gonna be completely aware of everything that's going on. And maybe that's something that's good for them, at least money wise, because coming from the money side, yeah, everybody's going to have to start paying for all these different services to try to keep up and try to figure out what's happening. But like you said, with exposition, how much are you going to try to have to go back and explain what's going on? And how are you going to get like new people into it without them knowing what happened before, unless they themselves create some type of recap system where they're doing like these recaps and stuff like that, or people just are really good at tracking down recap videos on YouTube and just like binge watching those and trying to keep up with everything that's happening. But that's only if they care as much, because at this
Yeah.
point, I don't know if I really care as much as I did when I was getting up to Endgame and I was getting excited for Endgame and I was like, yes, this is happening. Um, like I still enjoy the Marvel movies way more than DC movies, but at this point, I'm just again, I'm far behind and I don't know when I'm going to catch up. So I'm like, I see the Spider-Man Far From Home and all these things, and I'm like, that's so cool, but yeah, whatever. And I just go on with my life.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, what your average moviegoer who, like, he didn't watch any of Phase 1. He's like, I'm not watching Iron Man 1, 2, Hulk, Thor, or Captain America, but I will see Avengers. Like, I wonder, from his perspective, how that was. I mean, there's not much you really have to, like, know, I guess. You're like, Hulk, green guy,
Yeah.
Won't be bad, but, like, or even with Endgame, I mean, that's until Avatar, or just recently kind of beat it out, became the #1 movie. But I mean, to be fair, on like Disney's part, I mean, that was like you had to watch like 22 movies or something to watch Endgame, and people
To
did
get
it.
to that point, yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, like it sounds like a fun type of like idea to sit down with a bunch of friends and binge watch these movies, but with COVID and everything like that, I don't. I actually know that might give people an excuse. I just personally, I don't know if I want to sit down by myself in my living room and just watch all these movies, or better yet, in my room, but watch all these movies. Seems like a community type of thing. We should just get everybody to like pitch in, and then we just rent out a movie theater and binge watch everything for like 2 days straight. That
Some journalists, you could look it up. They did that where, because they would do that. They'd do like an Avengers marathon, and at the time for the first one, people were like, "You're a maniac." Iron Man 1, 2, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and then Avengers. Who would sit through that? But yeah, some lunatic actually did sit through the entire like Infinity Saga, and it was a journalist, and she just wrote like her brain just like melted, and like it was time to like watch all of those, like sleep in the theater. And yeah, I know people have like done that in like a week, and they've like regretted their choice because it's like too much, and it's too like I feel it's too much and it's too samey. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, man.
It's like it's weird because like I honestly think like DC's in a much better place now than like Marvel is, at least creatively.
I have no clue. I haven't even watched what was the last movie that came out for DC? What is it?
Suicide Squad.
Okay, the one before that then, because it was the remastered Suicide Squad that just came out, right?
Yeah, what was a reboot of that?
Yeah, and then before that though, there was it's the big one that had Superman, Flash, Cyborg, Batman,
Oh,
and everybody in it.
yeah. Well, that was Snyder Cut. The last thing they did before that though was I think Birds of Prey pre-pandemic.
Yeah, I still haven't watched that. Yeah, I haven't kept up with like I'll watch any DC animated film because those are amazing, and even like their TV shows and stuff are great. But the movies just I don't think I've watched anything since like the original. I guess it's Justice League, right? Not
Yeah,
the Snyder cut, but like the first version. And I didn't even like fully watch that. I only watched at the end.
it's crazy. Um, yeah, I have a point to make about that, but oh no, wait. They did do Wonder Woman '84, I think it was, but that was awful.
I did watch that one the other day, but that's because my uncle put it on.
That was so forgettable, like not good. But I actually did I ever tell you I waited 6 hours in line for Justice League?
Wow. I
Yeah.
okay, look, like don't get me wrong, I'm interested in DC, and from the perspective of the animated series and just knowing about the characters and stuff, I enjoy it. But I would not wait in line 6 hours to see one of the movies at least. So that takes some conviction.
It was a big deal though because I remember it came out like late November 2017 because I was a freshman in college at the time, and my school has a theater, and sometimes they get like early screenings. Like
Mm.
they got, I remember that there was like a John Cena comedy called Blockers or whatever. They got that like a month or two before it came out in theaters. But Justice League, they have like movie showings at like Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
You just go to the theater Thursday night. That's like the first day you can watch a new movie. They had this Wednesday night, a whole 24 hours ahead of time. I was like, I can't pass that up. So I literally sat in like 6 hours with my buddy, and I just got like homework and stuff done, but it wasn't a good movie. But I
So
waited.
was it worth waiting 6 hours?
I got a souvenir. I won a raffle, and I got a little metal pin. It's like the logo. I got it. I still have it, but I had bragging rights. That was a big thing. I was like, "Hey, everyone! I just saw an early screening of Justice League," and I was like, everyone was jealous of me for like a day, and then they saw it, and then they weren't jealous that I wasted that much time in line.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
But I gotta say, the R-rated stuff, Birds of Prey was pretty whatever, but like Joker isn't a great movie, but at least like they're doing stuff different from Marvel. Like the Suicide Squad was like genuinely like it's amazing how much it improves on the original, and that's actually next week's discussion with my podcast partner. Then is we're going to talk about the first one and this new one, and just like it's insane. I'm sure you probably saw it.
The latest Suicide Squad
No, the
or the
first one.
first one? First one, yeah, I saw the first one,
Yeah, that was
and it
awesome.
was, yeah, no, it was not good. That's kind of what threw me out of just wanting to watch DC anymore. Like I was having hope. I was having hope, and then it was just stripped away, like Batman's parents.
Yeah, I mean, well, did you hear? Oh, what's his name? Did you hear about what's happening in the next Flash movie?
No,
Big deal with that. Well, this is confirmed. I mean, this will be like on posters. This will be on trailers. Do you want to hear like what they got going for
sure.
it? So it's a Flash. I think they're doing a Flashpoint kind of thing, but they've got Ben Affleck as Batman for one more time,
Hmm.
and then acting as a Nick Fury for this multiversal DC R-rated thing they're doing. They brought back Michael Keaton Batman.
Huh.
Yeah,
He's gonna be in everything.
yeah, he is in everything nowadays. He was Vulture, and he was yeah. So I'm stoked. I'm stoked for that. That's out like next year.
Yeah, cool. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I love how the characters are. I love the lore, the animations, the video games, and stuff like that. But still a little not there for the movies yet. Maybe they'll pull back and really show up sometime, and maybe pull ahead of Marvel at some point. But I just don't know when, and so I'm just kind of here, and I'm just waiting, hoping.
Yeah, I don't even really watch comic book movies. I mean, like, I don't know. I follow them, but I never even saw Endgame, bro.
Neither of them. You just didn't want to watch them.
No, it's like 3 hours long. It's like I don't want to watch that. It's too long. It takes me like 3 minutes to read the Wikipedia article.
Oh, geez. So, like, when you watch a movie, what are you interested in?
Just the oddball stuff. Like, it has to be either like Academy Award kind of thing. Really cringe. Like I saw Venom 2. That was like the right amount of cringe. That was a lot of fun actually. And I don't know. Like this month, I want to see like a Wes Anderson movie's out, or I'll
Interesting.
watch anything. Just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because, like, for me, like, I'm a story snob and a world building snob, so that's a big thing for me. And that's one of the reasons that, like, again, I still hold out hope for DC, and again, why I've watched all the Marvel stuff, and want to, and hopefully I can catch up, before these next movies and stuff come out. But keeping up with worlds and stories and characters is huge for me. And then new movies, it's definitely just kind of more of the concept of like what's being portrayed and what's being told in the story. Sometimes I have no clue what's happening and I just get very distracted. Sometimes it's just like oh, hey, look, there's like a neat cinematic thing that's going on right here, because if they have like really cool shots and transitions and stuff, then I'm gonna want to watch it just because I love how people string things together. I'll say, did you ever watch Baby Driver?
Yes, I did. His new movie's out this month.
Wait, what? What new? Okay, I haven't heard about this. What is this?
Yeah, because it's Edgar Wright. So that's right. I knew there's like big stuff out this month. It's called Last Night in Soho. I know like a trailer's out and stuff's out. I think Well, I know like the only actress I know who's attached is that Anya Taylor-Joy who's in like everything now.
I'm not even sure if I know who she is. I'm bad. I'm so bad with actors and stuff like that. It's like songs. I'm saying songs, songwriters and singers and stuff like that. It takes me a long time to really know who is who, especially like you said, Michael Keaton. And I was like, okay, I know him. I know him.
Yeah.
Cool. And then Ben
Anya,
Affleck, I knew because Batfleck was a huge thing for me. I was like,
no, Anya was she's the Queen's Gambit girl.
okay,
So
okay.
she's gonna be Princess Peach in the Mario movie.
They're making another Mario movie.
Oh yeah, dude, no, it's gonna be epic. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong and Chris Pratt's Mario. uh,
Oh no.
Charlie Day is Luigi. Jack Black is coming out of retirement to play Bowser.
I feel like this is gonna be a very cringy movie.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it. It's gonna be horrible. I'm gonna be like first in line. That's a movie I'll wait 6 hours in line for. I'll be like, let's go.
I get secondhand embarrassment so much from movies and stuff like that, so it's hard for me to watch like really cringy movies, but I might watch that one later down the road. Not in theaters. I won't go to theaters, but I'll watch it later down the road.
It's a cartoon. It's by oh, even better. That makes it even more cringy. It's by the Minions team.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's gonna be awful, dude. And I'm gonna like love every part of it.
Awfully good? Question mark.
I can't wait to hear like Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong, like, "Hey Mario, let's take a hit off this banana."
I could. It's funny though because like in the end of your laugh, I could hear Seth Rogen. I could hear it. It's like, oh jeez. And that's gonna be very man. That's gonna be interesting to watch because I think the last like Super Mario movie I watched was a live action Super Mario that was just awful.
I remember
It
I
was.
saw that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I think it was like made in like the 1980s or something like that, or somewhere. It just way back, like before I was born. But
Yeah,
it was an old movie.
I believe it was '93 because yeah, it was Bob Hoskins of Who Framed Roger Rabbit fame. It was
Hmm.
John Leguizamo, and I think it was Dennis Hopper or something. It was yeah, as Bowser. I remember I watched it for well, it wasn't for a charity event, but I was at one at a college, and it was kind of like, hey, everyone, we're playing it. Let's all make fun of it. So I watched it, and I mean, it wasn't even like fun for me to watch. I was like, wow, this isn't even fun. Awful. This is just unbearable.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely how that movie was. I can't even remember why I watched it now. I just know I saw it and I it was a movie that I could have gone without seeing. Just like the Avatar The Last Airbender movie. Could have gone without seeing that one. And Aragon. Could have gone without seeing that one.
You know, just as a quick side note, so hey viewers, I actually filmed segment two before segment one, and I actually made that very same Donkey Kong Seth Rogen joke then. So I hope that was really funny because you'll be hearing it a second time around. But Slenderman is an embarrassing movie, but that's an incredible one. That's one of my favorite bad movies.
I don't know if I've seen it.
It was
I
like
don't.
2018. I think I saw the opening weekend with my buddies. It just
You went
everyone.
to the movie theater?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It was like
Okay,
in August. We had to watch
while
it.
yeah, while we're talking about bad movies, real quick, I'm just gonna make this one point. Going back to Netflix and talking about Netflix, and like some things that go well and some things that flop. One thing is any type of live action movie that they've tried to make from an anime, and one of those is Death Note.
Yeah, you said
Terrible.
Netflix live action anime, and then I was like, okay, he's gonna bring up Death Note. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
that
It
one's
was
just
so bad.
Because that one, yeah, I saw with my buddies years after it came out, and they never bothered. They never even bothered making part two. They're just like, okay, this was just bad.
I don't remember how it ended. I don't. So I don't know if there was technically supposed to be a part two or not. But yeah, no, it was so bad. It was so
Well,
bad.
it's supposed to follow the anime, but like I haven't seen the anime, but I know there's more to it. That being said, Willem Dafoe as the main villain, that was inspired. He did a pretty good job.
Still can't remember.
I can't remember either because I don't know source material, but I could even tell like, wow, this is butchering that so bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only bad thing about watching so much entertainment is that sometimes I just like I'll watch something and depending on how bad it is, it's like I put it in a container and I lock it away and I'm like, oh, that's bad, but I don't remember every part of it. I just know it was that bad. Um,
Honestly, I mean, like me and my buddy watched Venom 2, and I was like, wow, that was so cringe. And he's like, yeah, I know, right? And then we were like, did some thinking, and couldn't, we barely remember what even happened in it, honestly. It was pretty short, but like, you're right, yeah. I mean, like, when it's something so dumb, it doesn't really even stick with you after.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there are powerful movies out there though, like Interstellar. Oh, great. I loved it. At least I did. I don't know about you, but I loved Interstellar. And at Inception, okay, but having to watch Inception like the second time that I watched it was when it hit me because when I watched it the first time I was like 11 and didn't remember a thing. But the second time I watched it and really started paying attention to the mechanics of how the movie actually was going down and like what was happening made it really, really interesting to me and mind-boggling. But just my brain. I love crazy movies like that.
Um, yeah, no, I remember I saw Interstellar only once. Um, it was back, yeah, back when it was in theaters. It was like fall 2014, Thanksgiving break, and I had to go to like a funeral or something, and like that was just like sophomore year of high school. You know, things were terrible in general. But I remember I was like, yeah, I had to go, and I was like out, and my dad was like, "Hey, son, let's go watch a movie. You know, that'll make us feel better." So we looked at what was out, and it was like Interstellar, or like Dumb and Dumber 2. We're like, let's go with Interstellar. So I entered the theater sad, and then we watched it, and then I left the theater sad and confused.
Oh, shit.
Yes, I just remember like it's like I like movies, so this
Uh,
made me feel better, and then it did not. It made me feel worse.
oh, jeez. I mean, yeah, no, it's not like a happy-go-lucky movie, whatsoever. So yeah, that was probably not the movie to go for. Probably Dumb and Dumber would have been better at that point.
Oh no, I mean I have no regrets. Yeah,
Okay, okay, I mean, hey, if you have no regrets, then cool.
yeah. I mean, well, if Whiplash was out in that theater, then that would be pretty. That's a regret right there. I don't know if you ever saw Whiplash.
I remember like it coming out and people raving about it, but I didn't ever watch it.
It was on like it was on some streaming service a while ago, but I saw it and like my jaw dropped. Like that was worth the hype. But you weren't like band or something, weren't you? Trumpet, right?
Yeah, yeah, I was in band.
Yeah, yeah. You
Oh
probably
wait, is Whiplash the one with oh man, I can't remember the kid's name
Miles
or the dude's
Teller.
name, but it's that where
Miles,
the bald guy's yelling at the other kid
yeah,
about being on
J.K.
beat.
Simmons.
That's all I remember is seeing like commercials and stuff about the bald guy yelling at the other kid about drumming on beat.
Yeah, not quite my tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Miles Teller as a kid, and then J.K. Simmons,
Ah,
um,
JK.
Spider Man. Yeah, that was the teacher.
I might have to go back and watch it. There's like it's entertainment's great, but there comes a point when there's so much out there. I never know what to watch, and sometimes I just don't have the time because like I'll get into these moments where I have like absolutely no time to watch anything, and so I'm just like working on stuff, and then I have these like bits of downtime, and then I have to choose what I want to watch, and I never know what I should be choosing. So I generally just stick with like the animes I'm keeping up with, and then occasionally a Netflix series.
Yeah, honestly, like having too much free time was like why I started this podcast because like I work like 9 hours a day, and with the commute, it's easily like because it's like an hour and a half round trip or something, or 2 hours some days.
Mm.
I mean, even if it's like 9 hours and it's like 11 hours I'm away from home, and anyway, it's like I get home and like I got nothing to do, bro. Just watch a movie, hang out with people now and then. What's the move on a Wednesday night? So I'm like, I'm gonna start a podcast.
I
Yeah.
mean, hey, that's good. That's good.
But I watched way too many movies, dude. I mean, even yesterday when the podcast, I told you I was gonna do one yesterday, but the guest had to postpone. But yeah, I mean, I just hung out and I watched Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. I was like, what has my life become?
Yeah, yeah. That's a. I again one of those that I've heard about that but didn't watch.
That's
There's
an
actually
incredible title, but like it didn't live up to the title. It was just whatever.
I mean, I don't know what you could expect from a movie like that, though. It just sounds like it's gonna be cheesy, you know? Like if it was anything else related with vampire killing, maybe. But when you put Abraham Lincoln, vampire killer, it just sounds like it's gonna be cheesy. Although these days people are really making some decently interesting movies with titles like that. Like I guess it really just all falls down on who directs it and how they decide to shoot it.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't even know. Like I feel like I saw some kind of recently where like the title just said it all. I was like, wow, that really delivered. But I don't know. I feel like there's something really crappy I saw. I was like, okay, that was pretty entertaining. To be fair, I was just not feeling it. I just had time to kill. It was like
Hmm.
it's 9 o'clock at night. Vampire Hunter it is.
Okay, so are you the type of person that when you start watching something, you have to finish it, or can you just leave midway?
Depends. I mean, um, really depends. Like I never try to like leave a movie, but like there are movies where like it'll be like midnight or something, and be like I'm going to bed. So to be continued.
Yeah, yeah.
If the
But you
movie's,
eventually watch the rest, right?
yeah, if the movie's too long, then it's kind of a tough sell. I had a friend once recommend a movie. It was a foreign film. It was like 4 hours long, and I got to like a half hour of it. I yet to like finish it because that kind of time.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I will make time to watch a long movie if it is good enough, such as like the End Game, part one and part two. Those are ones that I made time for.
See, it's just fun for me because I have like IMDb, so every time I see something, I can just be like, "Oh, well, it's on the list now."
Mhm.
Building up the list, like that's kind of fun.
Cool.
But yeah, I rarely like not watch movies because I'm like, because that's like commitment. I was like, well, I've seen an hour and a half of Vampire Hunter already. Guess I'll watch the rest because
Mhm.
I'm not making the energy to like turn this on like later.
Yeah. I'm the type of person that like I start watching something, I want to know how it ends, and or I want to know how like it fits together. Because there are times when you know if you have heard of the hero's journey enough, then you know kind of how things are going to end up playing out for the said hero in most movies. So like I'll like kind of guess what the ending is going to be and have a little bit of a mindset. So when it comes, I'm not necessarily surprised by the ending, but I want to know how it gets there. And so I want to see the steps, I want to see the process, and I want to see how the story progresses, and I want to see the characters change. If they change, hopefully they do. as well as like, what's the growth of the character and what's the transition and growth of the story, because those are just really big points for me, especially when it comes to like wanting to create stuff myself. I want to be able to see how other people do it. And so even if it's a really bad movie, I'll get so sucked in to wanting to see how it ends up that I'll just sit there and watch the entire thing.
Yeah, I know that feel. That's honestly like why I can't get into TV shows. Like Breaking Bad is like on paper I should love it and like be watching it, but like I like a movie because you watch it like for an hour and a half and it's done. You know, you don't have to like unless there's a sequel, you don't have to care about it ever again if you don't want to. But like a show, you're on like season 3, like 9 more seasons to go. It's kind of like you could drop off, but it feels unfulfilled. You know what I mean? At least for me, when like, okay, I saw episode 1 of the show, took an hour, and now I gotta watch like 9 more episodes. That's 9 hours, and I can't just like get it done today.
I'm the type of person where I don't even think about how much time I put into stuff. If I did think about how much time I put into stuff, well, One Piece would be One Piece would be one of those that I don't want to calculate the time of. Have you heard of One Piece?
Oh yeah. No, my brother was. I don't know if you ever met him. He was a flute player at our high school, but
Mm-hmm.
no, he was a big One Piece fan when I was in high school, and actually at one point, like 2015 or 16 or something, he was actually like caught up with the Japanese dub.
Yeah, it is. I think we're upwards of 1,000 episodes right now.
I think a few weeks ago I hit 1,000.
Plus movies, which I haven't even seen the movies. Just haven't. Never made the time for those. But I binge watched. I think I had to have been like 15 or 16, so probably about like sophomore year of high school. One of the summers, I just binge watched the entire show and then caught up, and then waited a bit and then started just watching it consistently. So now I'm just watching it per week, which is so frustrating for me because with at least with the anime and stuff, they have like a recap, then they have their intro, then they have the actual like storyline, and then they have their outro.
Yeah.
And so the storyline itself is probably about like 15 minutes, and the rest of that takes up time. One Piece, it might be like 12 because they have a really long intro, and was it the recaps are long too.
Yeah,
but
time on One Piece.
But yeah, so like you start calculating like how much time, if you skipped everything, you're like, okay, let's say it's 15 minutes times 1,000. I don't even want to know how many days that is that I wasted. But I really, really enjoy it. And for me, at least, movies have been, and TV shows and video games and all that have been a form of escapism, just from a lot of trauma that I dealt with growing up. So it was always just something that I didn't really consider as an issue because it was allowing me to fulfill myself into a fantasy world that was just enjoyable, as well as it helped me connect with people because I can then talk to people about these shows or these video games and these movies. And that kind of was another good breaching point for me, at least for those things. These days, though, it's a little harder to justify because, life isn't as bad. And now I'm just like, I just want to watch it because I want to watch it. Oop, there goes my time.
Oh yeah, escapism through film is like just one of my favorite aspects of it, man. Just like, it's like watching a movie on a plane. Like, I don't know, I saw one, I think I saw like Old School or whatever, last time I was on a plane. Just like, you don't really think about things. You're just like so invested. It's like nothing else matters but Old School from 2003, starring Will Ferrell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think there's can be some said about that, really. I was going to say something. I'm going to check my topics. Did have two things to bring up.
Yeah.
They got, I think his name's Will Poulter, to play Adam Warlock in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Do you know what any of those words mean?
I know Adam Warlock, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I do not know who the actor is.
Okay, yeah, I used to read like DC comics here and there. I'm definitely more a DC guy. I know the name Adam Warlock. I'm whatever about Guardians 3. I didn't care for Guardians 2, but Will Poulter, I was like, okay, I know what Adam looks like. So cool. But then I was like, Will Poulter, it's weird. It's a familiar name. He's a freaking nerd kid from We're the Millers.
That guy?
Yeah, that guy. They're gonna like uh I don't know, they're gonna like CGI him to look like a Chad or something.
That would be unless he goes through the transformation like Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I was like, because then I was like, Will Poulter, who's that? And I saw his face is like, that guy? Like your reaction to it was like, ew.
Well, it's just more surprising. It's not necessarily new, but like it is surprising, and I'm interested to see what's going to happen with it because, like, the knowledge I have of Adam Warlock is not a lot. You know, I know that there was the Easter egg at I think it was the end of Guardian Galaxy 2, where the Golden Lady again
Yeah.
don't know everything, but the Golden Lady was like talking about Adam Warlock and stuff like that. There was the container that he was in. And then I did a little bit of research after that into him, but that was like a few years ago. So I kind of dismissed it. But trying to think about, okay, this Adam Warlock character from the images I have in my head, which is like this like golden, shiny, again, like you mentioned, Chad looking character. And then I'm trying to picture him, which I totally forgot his name already, but him
Will Poulter.
and that character. I'm like, how are they gonna have this happen? But again, it might be like Chris Pratt, and he might just like be able to physically get into that shape, and, and maybe because he's gotten older and stuff like that, because I would consider like his face to be a little bit more like the baby face type, but maybe he's kind of gotten a little bit more grown into his face and into his body a little bit more with that, or they could be CGIing. I don't know, because we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be interesting to see.
No,
I'm kind of looking forward to it now.
yeah, no offense to Will if you're watching this, if you'll ever watch this. My comment to you is more yeah, I mean, he doesn't, I don't know, he doesn't, it'd be like, hey, we're recasting Thor, it's like Napoleon Dynamite. It's like, yeah, what the heck? Same, like, kind of vibe, It's like, okay, okay, sure, I get it. It's interesting casting, and I'll give, like Marvel's pretty good at casting, but I also feel like it's a lot of low hanging fruit. Like for a lot of times I feel, but like this is one where I'm like, because most time you're like, I don't know who was even like the last um, the last guy cast in anything the last year. Shang-Chi, I mean, I didn't watch the show Kim's Convenience, so I can't comment on that. But um, like Captain Marvel, like Brie Larson, yeah, I can see her as like Captain Marvel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Just
like,
like does the character fit what you at least have in your head? But
but
as
like
things move
Will,
forward,
yeah, yeah, but like Will, I'm like, what the heck? Okay, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Again, we'll see. We will see.
I guess I also like what I felt like Chris Pratt, the fat guy from Parks and Rec. What? But
Yeah, but then he really pulled through. So hey,
I have another important topic, or just something to bring up here that I wrote down. I thought was humorous. Um, Rami Malek, right?
yes,
Yeah, he's in Bohemian Rhapsody and all that stuff.
yeah.
I found I just looked up like movie news, and the news was went back before he was famous, and he's just in Hollywood trying to get like gigs. Apparently, he was a pizza guy, and he'd like show up to people's houses with like his headshot. He'd like show
Like
up like the photo, like literally a
okay,
photo of him. He'd show up. He'd be like, "Okay, here's your pizza, $20. Also comes with a free photo of me. Check it out, Cassie."
Well, you said he was in Hollywood, right? Though, so I guess that would make sense.
Well, yeah. When he's trying to get a star, like there's a guy recently. He was like an Uber Eats driver, and he would like give out his mixtape for every like delivery. Like, I can respect that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's getting himself out there and putting himself out there. I mean, we do have the digital world now, so that's a little bit easier these days, to some extent. To some extent, but yeah, it's cool.
I remember. Did you go on that band trip to New York City?
No, no, I didn't.
I remember I went and they had like a whole buddy system or like a whole grouping. That was funny because I don't know if you've ever been to New York.
Only passed by it.
Oh, past by to go where? Just curious.
I was heading up to, was it Bolton, Massachusetts?
Oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny because there was one guy in my group who, in New York City, if you like walk around, there's vendors everywhere, and there's a lot of like scammers. A lot of those you see in the shows. They like have the cards, and you have to like they like flip it around and they like hide the card when you're not looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in like New York, but there was one guy who there were a lot of guys who like just sell their mixtapes on like blank CDs they burned. Um, so there's just one guy selling like his mixtape for like $1, and one guy actually bought it for $1. So he went home and like played on his computer, and gave his computer a virus.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Yikes. That's a yeah, no. That's a no. I'm glad my computer doesn't have a my computer doesn't have a disk tray because they just don't. I don't know if they come with them anymore, but mine didn't. So yeah. Well, here let's. The reason I'm saying that specifically is because I'm thinking of something. When I was in Chicago, and because I was living up in Illinois for 2 months, and when I was up there, my friend and I. Do you know who Colton Sweeney is?
yeah. He's going to be in my movie, I think, as a crewmate or something like that. But it kind of fell
Yeah,
through.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We were considering that at the time. Um, but because his family lives up there, so I was up there with him, and so him and I were going through Chicago, and we just randomly walked past this guy who was having CDs, and so Cole starts talking to him and ends up getting a CD, and I end up getting a CD too, just like $2 or something like that.
yeah.
Um, but we never played the CD, and I don't even know if he ever looked. I know I didn't. I don't even know if he ever looked up who the artist was. But that makes me scared now to try to plug it into anything because I'm like, what if? I mean, the guy seemed like he was a lot more decent than like other people because he like has the social medias and stuff like that, which I have. I did follow him on social media, but it's for a separate thing because he does films as well. But we have the CDs, and we were gonna try to put them into a CD player, but we didn't have a cord for it, so we couldn't listen to it. And now I don't want to put it in my laptop. Again, I don't have a CD player in my laptop, but I don't want to put it in any of my electronics just in case. Just in case.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I remember that guy like selling dollar CDs, but like, I mean, he was like a nice guy. Obviously, he was like all act. He's like an enthusiastic guy, but that is a good point. Is I remember I think it was like freshman year
Mm-hmm.
at Target, and they had like I think they had like a James Bond collection for $5. It's like
Mm-hmm.
5 movies for $5, and like what a steal! So I like got it, and then I like brought it home. I was like, I can't wait to watch. Uh, uh, I don't know. Tomorrow Never Dies. I'm so stoked, and that's when I realized my Mac doesn't have a DVD player.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, hey, technology improves and things become more digital, which kind of leads back into Disney Plus and all that stuff and how they're doing things now because of movie theaters and all that fun stuff. Man, it's gonna be crazy to see how the future goes.
Yeah. Apparently, like Disney Plus is like Fox stuff now, but I don't know. Honestly, like Friendship with Netflix over. HBO Max is my new best friend.
Hey, I used a friend's HBO Max for a little bit, and the only good thing for me, it was HBO Max and Hulu that I was able to use. And the only good thing for me was that they had animes on there that I didn't want to watch ads for, and I couldn't find on Netflix. So I was like, cool.
HBO Max has like user interface problems. I'll give it that, but like it's not perfect. But like apparently, like they really screwed over directors and stuff with how they just put all their movies this year out for free. So like a lot of people were mad about that. Like Hollywood people, like I mean, there's just so much more than like Netflix used to have it all, but like now it's like HBO Max. Like if you want to watch, there's just so many quality stuff. If you want to watch like old stuff or like um, just whatever, like you could watch Adult Swim and TCM, and that's what I really dig. And you could watch like I actually have a DC universe, and that used to have like all the DC shows, movies, everything, but they cut that out. Now it's all on HBO Max. And that was kind of sick because they had like all of Batman the animated series. They had all the DC animated universe stuff. Um, I heard Titans and that Doom Patrol were really good. Never bothered watching them, but
Doom Patrol looked interesting to me, but I don't know.
I like it because it has Brendan Fraser in it. Like, when's the last time he was in anything?
I know his name, but for some reason I cannot remember what he looks like.
He was in he's best known for being in The Mummy, the original three Mummy movies.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that guy.
Yeah, he was in like everything, but like I don't know, just his career kind of flopped.
Yeah, unfortunately, that happens a lot. People do really well and then flops for one reason or another.
So you want to move into like questions here?
Sure.
Huh?
Wait, so the ones I have. The ones I have.
Yeah. Why don't you go first?
Okay. Okay. So I have two questions. And let me specify both of these questions. So originally they were going to be a little bit more broad, but just to make it to where it's easier to answer, I'm going to kind of specify them. So you say you like DC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you could be like one character from any of the DC movies and only the movies, you could be any character from the movies, who would you want to be?
Well, okay. Does that mean like physically become them or like act?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and not the actor, but like the character that is portrayed in the movie. So, like, let's say you want to be the Ben Affleck Batman, would it be that? Or Henry Cavill Superman, something like that.
Um. Hmm. That's hard. That's an interesting question because then you have to consider like film interpretations of the character. Like, if you said like, uh, geez, man, I don't know, like Henry Cavill Superman, like that. There's a or a stark difference between Henry Cavill and Christopher Reeve. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's like, well, I can't say I really enjoyed Shazam, but I don't think I could pick that because like, well, he was a kid, and that'd just be kind of weird to like turn into someone else. Um, she should totally watch that. That was great.
I've seen Shazam. There's not the second one's not out, right?
No, it's out next year, I think.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was like, wait, is another one out? Yeah, no, I have seen Shazam.
Um, okay, I'm cheating here, but technically was a movie. Adam West Batman from Batman the movie.
Okay. Okay. So my next question. All right. So if you could live in one world, like just of any movie, any animated film, anything like that. So this is going to be a broader one. Uh, but you were just a regular person. You weren't actually you weren't anybody important in this world. But you were just a regular person, and you could live in any world. And just for the sake of this, let's say like if you decide to choose a world that doesn't have our commodities in our world, such as like regular toilet and stuff like that, you wouldn't remember that stuff. So it's just like those things wouldn't bother you. What world would you choose?
Um, hmm. Stunning world. Like this should be easier. Okay, does time pass normally, or is it like every day is the same?
Uh,
Society
t-
change.
I mean, I would say time passes normally as long as the world has that as an effect, you know?
But like if I said something like, oh, I don't know, Napoleon Dynamite, will it perpetually be like 2004 or whatever?
It wouldn't perpetually be 2004 because that world per se is still based around ours, and so you just be back in time essentially, and in that area that it happens.
Um, it's hard.
Like let's say for instance for me, like and this when I say any world, I don't just mean movies. It could be video games or anything like that. That makes it easier for you. If it makes it harder, don't think about it.
Yeah.
But for me, if I could just be a regular person in like any world, I would probably at this point in time, right now in my life, probably would choose just like One Piece. But that's mainly just because like they live on islands and they can travel to other islands, and your life's not really like it's just kind of chill. I mean, I wouldn't want to live in like as a regular person in like one of the because they have like really bad why am I spacing out on the political system that this is? Like monarchies and stuff like that. They have really bad monarchies and like other things that are going on. But if I were to live in that world as a regular person, I'd probably just be like chill, just being some random dude that just, works at a bar. That'd be kind of cool. And then see all these things that happen around the world and stuff like that, because it's kind of crazy stuff that happens there, man. But it is still a hard one for me to even say that. And that was quickly off the top of my head to try to get an answer out.
Okay, being in the Pokemon world would be pretty sick.
Okay, cool. In the Pokemon world. I mean, because like even if you're not the main character, you can still catch Pokemon.
Yeah,
You
that'd be
still do those things.
that or like the original thought was like Jet Set Radio.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's like a late '90s video game. It's all like
Okay.
neon. Basically, it's kind of like a skating game where you gotta do like tricks, but
Hmm.
there's a gimmick where like um, you also like graffiti. Now I don't like graffiti or anything, but it's just like if you looked up like how the game looks, it's
Hmm.
such a cool like style to it, like visually and just like the music in it. It's like it's all pretty cool. It's very like late '90s, early 2000s, and I kind of played the demo on like 360, but I guess that just because that's just like because I'd say like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, but that's just like living in like the year 2000,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm gonna retract my statement on the One Piece thing because I totally forgot about something and
Uh,
it just popped into my head. All right. Um, and that's Assassin's Creed. All right. Like even modern day Assassin's Creed world, I would be kind of cool with as long as I was able to, like I would like to be a regular person with the hopes of joining the Assassins, and that's it. Okay, choice changed, and I'm done. That's my end.
well, that's actually kind of an interesting point because then you could just go back in time.
Yeah,
I just
like
like go back in time to like 2004. Yeah, I go back in time 2004 and just buy up like GameCube games and like sell them. I guess that doesn't really work. And okay, I guess to be fair, Assassin's Creed, you don't really go back in time, it's just like
yeah,
simulate.
simulating memories.
So I'd go like 1996. Sounds like it'd be pretty cool.
Just yeah, because like the whole thing with Abstergo, which I don't know how much you know about Assassin's Creed. So if I'm going over your head,
Yeah, I
I
know that.
Okay. So the whole thing with Abstergo is that they've now turned the whole, project that they've had with going back into memories into kind of like a media system, at least in the newer versions. And that was up until Odyssey, and I haven't really played. I didn't finish Odyssey yet because money and time. But up until Odyssey, like the modern world was like Abstergo was becoming such like this. Oh, you can go and play these games, and you can explore this stuff, and you can get hired by Abstergo, and it'd be like, okay, cool. And now you don't even have to choose your own DNA, so you could technically go back in time and be anybody that was cool. And I mean, that sounds kind of fun. That sounds like it would be neat. Although, again, if I could do it, I would like to be part of the retaliation and be a part of the assassins, but that's just me.
Yeah, I just like simulating like going back in time. That'd be cool. But
Hmm.
yeah, I got a question.
Go for
I was holding on this question like so long.
it.
But I'm gonna see. I think I wrote it down. Um, Bro, that's killing me. Oh yes. I remember now. If you could turn one video game into a movie, what would it be? Guess this will be the last question tonight. Yes.
If I could turn one video game into a movie,
Yeah.
honestly, and this is like, so what first popped into my head was Assassin's Creed, because we were just talking about it, and because like I want a good movie interpretation of it. And the other one that they produced was okay, but the second one that popped in my head, and honestly, this one's probably a lot more that I want, is going to be Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls like themed movie would be great. Like Skyrim specifically, because that's the main one that I played. But having a movie based around that, and if it's done well, I mean, like Game of Thrones style done well, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat. For me, like someone brought this up like years ago and it was stuck with me because it was such a smart idea. I'm shocked nobody ever thought of it. Gritty war movie. It's a Call of Duty.
I
Like,
mean, honestly, yeah. But like, which area of Call of Duty? Are you talking about like older Call of Duty, like Call of Duty Rising Sun and stuff like that, or are you talking
yeah,
about like newer Black Ops?
you like like OG Black Ops or Modern Warfare. Just like remake that a movie. That would do so well. I feel that would like that would do so well because you get the gamers and then you get like there are a lot of like people who love war movies. Like you do like Saving Private Ryan, but like Call of Duty, and I think that's such like a smart idea. I'm shocked like nobody's ever really like made that a thing.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you never know. They probably will, just with that way the franchise is. And honestly, the Skyrim probably will eventually pop up somewhere, especially if Todd Howard has anything to say about it.
Yeah, that would be neat. Or I guess my runner-up choice. I had one, but I don't know. Something like Zelda. Yeah, Zelda would be pretty lit.
Zelda would be, but it also depends on how they do it, because like you said, made into a movie, and my mind was automatically like live action style or something like that. Um, but Zelda, I don't know. You just like the way that the game is produced and the artistic style behind it. Like I don't think you could represent that in like live action, not well enough. Especially Breath of the Wild. Especially after Breath of the Wild.
You just have to find like one game with like more story,
Hmm.
or even something like Metroid. Make that like an Alien kind of knockoff. That'd be pretty cool.
It'd be interesting. Most of the time, I think historically, and this goes with anime and video games, though, movie and live action movie interpretations generally aren't good. Generally, they're not good. So I don't have really high hopes for any of them, but it would be cool to see what people decide to do.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, man. Um, you have any last questions or anything?
No, man, I do not. But I appreciate being on the podcast. It's been great.
Yeah, honestly, I'm shocked. I don't know why, like, the software I'm using, like, to record this, I had a timer last time. I don't know why I did this time. I was just, like, waiting for it. Then, like, an hour went by. I was like, oh, I guess there is one or something. But last time
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
I was gonna say it could be that if you had more than one person in it, I think that's how it generally goes. If you have like two people, or sorry, if you had three people in a call, like we're using, then it's gonna have the timer. But if you only have two, then it's unlimited. I think that's how it works, but I could be wrong.
That's a good point. I think that's the only logical explanation. But,
Hmm.
uh, Matt, I'm glad you could come onto the podcast. The very first one. Um, Before we wrap things up and move on to segment 2 here, uh, where can the audience find you?
So if you want to find me, you can find me just by looking up Matthew N. Thomas. It's Mattthew because sometimes people like to spell with one T. And then N as in like Nancy, and then Thomas, Thomas. You can find me on any of my social medias by simply searching up my name, kind of have it all together. Or again, on Instagram, you have the dots in between. So Matthew dot and dot Thomas. And if you're interested in checking out my website, where I have my photo galleries for photography, you can go there at matthewandthomas.com.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So yeah, obviously there's going to be segment 2 coming in, but just a reminder, check out the Instagram at the Rock Shop Podcast. So yeah, we'll be updating there, and yeah. So hang tight, viewers, because we are on to segment 2. And for our next segment, we take a trip to the game corner. We've got 2 new customers today, and they are
Hey everyone, my name's RJ Valencia. Nice to meet you all.
I'm David.
Solid
fantastic
introduction.
intros, as always. So yeah, like I said in segment 1, it's going to be 2 segments, and this is the second half of the podcast, episode 1. Yeah, we'll just pretty much talk about video games and news and whatever. So what's up, guys?
I'm still reeling from Smash Bros. How about you guys? Did you see that?
RJ, I was gonna bring that up as a topic 1. So cool.
We're on the same brain.
I am in the I don't know if I'm in the minority or the majority of people who didn't want another sword anime dude in my Smash game. But I mean, you know what? I feel like it was a long time coming to have Sora in Smash. Of course, I was like partial when Waluigi, even like Master Chief in Smash. But like, I mean, did you hear? Did you hear they were trying to get Donald and like Mickey and Goofy? They're trying to get them as like side characters for him, not like the main character, like side characters for him. But like,
Really?
yeah, they would have to fork out so much money to get the rights to like Mickey Mouse and Smash. They need so much money to force that out. But like, there's no way. Like, I'm pretty sure like whoever makes Smash, they would have to like give up their like firstborn child, even second, just to get Donald.
Hey, should be worth it for Goofy.
That is so true.
Yeah, well, actually, they'll hit up Ryan so that way he can voice Goofy for the game. They'll save him money.
Yeah, there you go.
The non-union Walmart version of Goofy.
You can pull it off.
But wait, are you saying that they unionized Goofy?
No, I've actually met the voice of Goofy a few years ago. So yes,
I thought you said non-union.
Well, yeah, I'm not a union. I'm not licensed to goof.
Does the voice actor of Goofy have a union for Goofies?
Not sure. I mean, he used Goofy since like '86 or something. It's a really nice guy. It's his son. So yeah, he's telling me his son is in like a punk rock band. I can never listen to his band because like it would shatter the illusion that he doesn't sing like Goofy.
Like what's the band's name though? Does that have anything to do with like, for example, did he name his son like Max or something?
No, I'm talking about the actor's son.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying though. Like, did he like the actor name his son Max? Like, he joined like his own like group.
That's a great question.
Like, did he join the group with like the other like Disney actor voices like children as well? I mean, like the Three Mouseketeers, but like just the children.
That'd be kind of neat, but I know like he's on. I've seen him on Twitter because I checked him out. Like what does Goofy's VA post on Twitter? And it's like always like it's so weird because it's like always wholesome stuff. It's just like the guy's like I love my wife. Check her out. That's nice. But his son, yeah, he posts like or he retweeted is like the one time I checked. I don't follow him on Twitter or anything, but the one time I saw the son's band. His name wasn't Goofy or Max, but I don't
So
know.
he wanted other people to check out his wife.
Yeah.
Does that
He's
make him a
like,
yuck?
he's like, this is my wife. I love her very much. Signed Goofy. He's like, wow.
But with Smash and Minds, so are they planning to make like any more Smashes afterwards? I've heard like rumors that like they don't even want to make another one. Like it's not.
I mean, how the hell do you top Ultimate? It had literally had everyone plus more. It was crazy.
Well, that's like I'm saying, like how they're going to get like the licensing rights to like a second one with all those other characters like still in the game. Because sure, they can have like your Sonics in there. They can have all your like your Kirby's, your all your Mario characters minus Waluigi. But like it'd be really hard to just keep getting licenses for the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who do you even like top? Like, I agree, Master Chief. That'd be awesome. Like, okay, it's weird because like after like Steve and after like Banjo, like that was hype. People were like, whoa, what's gonna come next? But I feel like, well, okay, definitely after Steve, like the hype kind of died down. Like I don't know, who would they add that would like break the internet? You know?
They should add. Oh, sorry, David, you go first.
Well, like I said, like I think obviously the big one would be like Waluigi. I mean, they can easily do that too, minus him being like an assist trophy that he already is. Like if they would just add Waluigi as a player, like the internet would go wild. They never went wild when they added Sans, and it wasn't even a Sans as a character; it was just like a Mii brawler of Sans.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys react when you saw Sora? When you saw like the Mickey Mouse logo?
Well, when I saw the Mickey Mouse logo, I figured it'd probably be, you know, I mean, Sora. I mean, just like when you think of characters with Mickey Mouse in it that where people were talking about wanted in Smash. I mean, I think Sora is the big name there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was obviously like Sora when you saw Mickey Mouse. Although like oh my gosh, they added him Goofy.
That would have been cool. Yeah, it just when I saw it, it was like I was waiting. It was like because there's always like a sign that shows like what it is going to be. So when I saw the Mickey logo, it's like, oh yeah, Sora, and I was really happy because I mean I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. I love the games and the stupid convoluted plot. I eat that up, but yeah, it was cool to see him, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. It felt pretty magical and whimsical as Kingdom Hearts does. So
Can I go back and re-say Kingdom Hearts instead of accidentally saying Final Fantasy for some reason? Like we're only on a gaming podcast now, and like they're gonna eat me alive now. Like, this guy doesn't even know what Kingdom Hearts is. I swear I have all the games. I swear.
You gotta do one of those dumb things, just like Kingdom Hearts, and they'll put it over that in post.
I know what I'm talking about. I swear.
I mean, they're not that far off. It's just Final Fantasy with Disney, so you know it's fine. He does meet Cloud and Sephiroth, so it's fine.
But no, there was like a bunch of characters I saw people like. One was I think I saw Crash as a like Crash Bandicoot as a possible character they could add. I think people said Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, which would just be interesting to add like a super like gory character into Smash. I can't imagine him doing like his finisher on like Mario and like ripping out his spine like as like his ultimate or something.
What's actually funny is on the Super Nintendo version of the original Mortal Kombat, they're very like anti-blood, anti-violence. So Nintendo actually had, I think it was Midway who made the original games. they're like, okay, you can't put blood in it. So they recolored all the blood to sweat, but they made the sweat like white. And that makes it even worse kind of picture.
Well, I mean, I think the same thing happens with like some like animes where like they don't use red blood because like they don't like all that blood in like Japan, so they make it white. They make the blood white instead. So it's like I don't know why they like make it white. I guess it's just easier to make everything white as opposed to making some other color.
I mean, I can attest to that. Piccolo's blood in the original Dragon Ball was like, it was red, and then like it went to Z, and it was purple, and then just never went back.
So it's like I don't know, maybe like the gore. Like, and you got to think back then, it's like what Mortal Kombat was made like what 80s, 90s, whenever it was made. So like back then, it's like kind of I guess taboo-ish to have like that gory of a video game. I mean, like your main games back then, you're playing, Mario Brothers. I don't think you see any, blood in Mario Brothers, at least none that I've seen. But,
You haven't playing the game right, David.
Yeah, I forget the part where he like just starts crushing like a Koopa Troopa's head, just bashes it in.
You don't remember the part where Mario takes a baby penguin, looks the mother dead in the eyes, and crushes it off?
But there's no blood. There's no blood, so it's fine.
Well, I mean, it's fine. There's no blood. It's just traumatizing. That's all.
I swear he respawns. It's a video game. Like some other ones I saw was like Lara Croft, I think was one of them, like obviously from Tomb Raider. But I just feel like some of these characters, like go back to like the whole argument with like the anime sword characters, where people are like, well, how can you have all these anime sword characters and then make the game like diverse? Like what like move sets would these characters have that would make them more diverse? Like I said, Master Chief, like how would his move sets be that much different? I guess from like Snake from Metal Gear Solid being in there. Like you have your grenades, you have your guns, you have your RPGs. Like was he gonna like his ult pull out a Spartan laser? So like it just really like I think it's a big deal is obviously one they would have to go to Microsoft. I mean they already added Minecraft Steve in there, so I guess it wouldn't be too far of a stretch for Microsoft to let Master Chief in there. I just guess like they don't want very repetitive gameplay and they'd have to still find out like a move set for that. But also we got to think they're also wanted to pander towards not only the American audience but obviously the international audience as well. So like they're not just going to make characters that us in USA went and smash.
Right. Also, don't forget, Sora was like the #1 requested character from like the Smash Battle all those years ago. So I guess when people say like, why is there another anime swords fighter? It's just kind of coincidence. You mean you asked for it?
Yeah. I mean, yes. Yeah, you asked for it. Maybe there's a little bit too many Pokemon in Ultimate.
Yeah, you're right. We should take out Pikachu. Frick him.
I mean, or like maybe we should like take out one of the alternate versions of Link. Do we really need two Link, like young Link and Link?
What were you gonna say, Ryan?
Then you'd have the missing Link.
Oh, yeah, my favorite character from Monsters vs. Aliens.
Played by Seth. Wait, no, not Seth Rogen.
That was Blob or Bob.
Oh,
Bob was Seth Rogen.
Oh, perfect segue, actually.
Oh yeah,
the Mario cast. Yeah,
the Mario casting.
I know we really don't have to like. Well, it's like first of all, I talked to my other friend about it. It's like, well, the whole entire cast just doesn't make sense, but everyone is on board with Jack Black as a Bowser. That's what makes sense.
I think everybody agrees that Jack Black can pretty much play any kind of character he wants, and he'll probably kill it no matter what.
Absolutely.
He just has that personality for it.
I love the fact that the thing about that Jack Black casting is Jack Black actually announced his retirement after Jumanji 2, I believe it was, because he became like a YouTube streamer.
Yeah, Jablinski Games.
Yeah, potential guest on the Rock Shop podcast Game Corner segment.
Yeah, pull a couple strings. Just a little strings you got to pull to get Jack Black on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I brought it up in segment 1 that I totally didn't film after this segment, but Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. That was another one of my talking points. Is like I was gonna say like yeah, Mario 64 being back on Switch Online was the second best news out of that direct, but the first one, so obviously that casting, I mean, incredible.
I mean, like, they got names for sure, but like it's just more of like I mean, it's too young to judge. Like we don't know how they act. Like obviously, they're all actors, so they could do well. It's just like when you think of Mario, you don't think of like Chris Pratt is the one playing Mario. Like you could argue like you get Danny DeVito to play Mario more than you would get like Chris Pratt to play Mario. And I love Chris Pratt as an actor. I love all his movies, but like in his like, obviously Parks and Rec and all, but it just felt weird like like Chris Pratt as Mario. And so like it's just gonna come down to like when you look at Mario's face and you hear that voice, like my first instinct isn't Chris Pratt. That's why like I thought like Danny DeVito, like that would be I would love to see Danny DeVito as Mario. Or some like Wario. I would love to see Danny DeVito as Wario. That would be hilarious. But
absolutely.
It's just Chris Pratt, like again, it's voice acting. I mean, heck, Benedict Cumberbatch played the Grinch. So like I mean, who are we to say that's going to be terrible?
Well, they need an actual Italian to play Mario. And Luigi. I think Mario. I was saying Danny DeVito earlier in the car, but I'm thinking Joe Pesci as Mario.
I guess like I guess his voice like really that high pitched. Like when I think of Joe Pesci, I think of this high pitched voice, and he's just like, "I know you're in there, and that you're all alone." Like I don't hear like it's a me. Like I can imagine Joe Pesci as Mario. It's a me, a Mario. Like I don't see that.
Well, they made Luigi like Charlie Day, so it would fit.
I'm so excited for that. I'm
excited for Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Freaking
yeah, like I don't know what they're gonna do. It's like Donkey Kong just like straight out high.
He's just smoking a banana.
Yeah, he's just straight out high throughout the whole entire movie.
Hey Mario, you gotta get a hit on this banana.
but okay, I don't know much about the girl they got to play Peach though, because I think I want to say I don't want to be wrong here. Is that Queen's Gambit? I think.
Yes. Okay. Yes, it was Queen's Gambit. She was in The Witch. Was her first big role. She was in I believe that Little Women thing. She was in New Mutants. She's like a really like big star now. But yeah, Queen's Gambit, like what she's all about nowadays. Which I don't really like that casting. I don't know who I'd pick Peach, but that's kind of boring.
Okay. I think the biggest one for me is still Michael Keegan Key as Toad. I when I think of like Michael Keegan Key, you think of like you go back to the days of Key and Peele, him doing like substitute teacher. Now I don't know how he goes from there to Toad unless they obviously don't go with like classic high pitched Toad voice when they do it.
And that's the thing. Like this feels like a modern Mario. It feels like they're not going to go like that classic route, which is fine. And I guess it's kind of like the theme with the cast too. Like they're not bad actors by any means. You just like it really just feels like they pulled out names out of celebrity hat and it's like okay, they could probably do this. It's just voice acting.
Well, and I think that's a big thing. Like I'm going to compare it to like Space Jam 2, where maybe this isn't made for the generation that's growing up with these characters, that play these characters, the generation that grew up and watched Space Jam, the Space Jam 2, that wasn't for them. It was for the younger generation, get them more involved with these characters, marketing to this younger generation for them like, oh yeah, like these younger kids are watching Mario and like, oh my goodness, that's Emmett from the Lego movie. So I think there's a possibility towards not made for the nostalgia factor for other people. Although there's a little bit there because the guy who plays Mario obviously has some cameos throughout the movie. So, I mean, I think that's my big guessing as it because like I remember watching Space Jam 2 again. I don't know, segue into that LeBron, and I'm just watching. I'm like, look, I was like, I could see as a kid like this would be great, but like for me watching it, I know it's not made for me. It's like made for a younger generation. I mean, even the movie was called Space Jam 2: A New Like Legacy, so it kind of makes sense.
It doesn't make sense, bro. They didn't go to space. There were no jams.
Well, they went to like, the streaming space.
They went to cyberspace, but that don't count.
Yep. They went to cyber chase.
Cyberspace, bro.
Like,
They went to the Warner Brothers universe. And they went to every single world.
They went to Scooby Doo in cyber chase.
No matter.
They should have put that in the movie. That's so easy.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
The Scooby Doo in cyberspace. They should have put that in because they're in a server, and it's Warner Brothers. So why not?
Well, what's interesting, and obviously this isn't gaming related, what's interesting in Space Jam 2 is that when they're showing like all the streamable movies, Space Jam 1 was in the streamable movies.
I love how in Space Jam 2, they do all those like movie parodies or whatever. Like they go into Matrix and they go into Austin Powers. That whole sequence. None of those movies were from this century. In fact, most of those movies were like as old as Space Jam, if not old. Like Casablanca's old.
Well, it's probably more for the parents having to watch the kids in the movie theaters as well.
And also a Clockwork Orange reference too.
Oh yes, they took out Pepe Le Pew, but they added the Clockwork Orange droogs. That was a little weird.
They should have added Clockwork Annoying Orange. Made it like really tie into this decade.
Warner Brothers, hire this man.
Now we're dated.
Now we're dated. My 2012 YouTube references.
You know who's getting Annoying Orange got a show. Did you guys hear which YouTuber's getting like a show? Did you guys hear about the news?
Fred?
No, he already got a show, but Scott the Woz is getting his own TV show.
Wow, cool.
But it's not like original content. They're just taking his old videos and like cutting them into a half-hour thing, which is strange.
I mean, it's smart as a YouTuber, though. You're telling me I'm going to make extra money from just taking my YouTube clips and putting them onto a TV show?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm making that's less effort for me to have some company clip my videos and put them there. Like the only hoops you'd have to go through is like if you weren't like a family-friendly like YouTuber. I would definitely make it a little bit harder because you'd have to tone down your content to be able to fit it onto a kids TV show. But like, I mean, from a marketing standpoint, if you're telling me that, hey, look, we'll take your streaming clips that you're already making money for on YouTube, and we'll give you more money if you put on this TV show, then I feel like some people would be stupid to say no.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd say yes, but it'd be like,
yeah, well, just be more of that creative freedom you're going to lose from doing that.
No, it's just for me, it's more just like, yo guys, it's the Ride the Tiger stand-up special out, and just literally just like Ride the Tiger funny moments from my YouTube. Like, yeah, that's cool, but at the end of the day, these are just like clips.
I mean, it would basically be like Tosh.0 or Key and Peele Comedy Central, where it is like take the TV show and like put clips on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm cool with the idea. It's just a little odd.
Here's my big gaming question. All right, I'll segue back into gaming instead of movies. Wrong podcast. Well, will we ever actually get GTA 6 anytime soon? Because when you think about GTA 5, like I had GTA 5 on the PS3, like when the game came out. They shifted to the PS4 console. I mean, they keep adding stuff to the game, which is fine. But then the PS5 comes out, and it's just like, if you're sat there and you've had every single generation of console leading up to this game, like, welcome back to Los Santos. They haven't decided to make a new one. I can imagine how infuriating it would be as somebody who would hardcore play GTA 5, like not even getting any news on like what the new one's going to be like.
And is it like no news about like the development of 6?
There's only speculations. Like it only like I mean you can sit there and go on your Snapchat stories and see like every like GTA 6 going to be in Vice City again. GTA 6 going to be in I don't know Breach. I don't even know like at this point. I just feel like if you're actually enjoying GTA like 5 or enjoy the series in general, you gotta be a little bit frustrated that you haven't had a new one come out in like almost 8 years now.
Right.
Well,
absolutely.
They just announced they're making a trilogy remaster. Did you see that?
Well, okay, that would almost make me more mad that they're just going to remaster the trilogy, because at that point it's just like it's almost going to be like Disney, or they're rehashing their old titles, but like making them live action as opposed to making new content. At one point, you're like, if people want GTA 6, it's if that game came out now, it'd be one of the biggest releases. People would be lining up to see that game. Of course, people still haven't gotten any newer consoles, and maybe that's one big reason why. But it's just like, I feel like if I had a PS5 and I've had GTA 5 on the last 2 consoles of generations, I'd be like, okay. I was like, as much as I love GTA 5, I was like, when's the new game coming out? And then and really, like you said, they're remastering it. That's all fine and dandy, but you're spending all that time remastering the game instead of giving us any info on what the 6th one's going to be like.
To be fair, I mean, like,
Be fair.
to be fair, like 3 and Vice City and San Andreas are so old. Like, they're like classic games. I feel like they at least deserve, like, a little bit of a facelift. I mean, like, I'd play a remaster. That's pretty cool.
Well, I'm not saying they aren't good games. Like, when they made Call of Duty, like they remastered Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I mean, they only did like the campaign mode for it, but like people ate it up. But at the same time, people were like, okay, that's cool. Thank you for remastering it. Now make a better Call of Duty game. And so like you can remaster all the old classic ones, all you want, but like if at the end of the day you can't make your new ones, like you're relying on solely nostalgia. At some point, gamers aren't that stupid, opposed to popular belief. Like they'll be able to like see past like, hey, look, okay, make us a new game. Like we want new content. And as opposed to just making DLCs for you to download, they're just giving you giving you DLCs like for old games and then remastering the old ones. Which again, it's all fine and dandy. They're classics. I understand that. It's smart marketing, but it's also bad marketing to like not even give any hints towards a new game being built. I feel like they, from Red Dead Redemption to Red Dead Redemption 2, I feel like there was a little bit like less of a wait as was there. And Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game. I mean, they make DLCs for that all the time too, and I don't see them making a Red Dead Redemption 3 anytime soon. But like at least Red Dead Redemption 2, it wasn't like a 3 console generation thing. So I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe at some point they'll get a new GTA 6, or we'll even find out what GTA 6 is going to be like. But until then, like all we can go is off of speculations, I guess.
I mean, Hollywood has just been remaking things, so I guess the game industry just wisened up. So,
well, and you also, I guess, have to vary in COVID. I mean, as much as like wanting to hear, hey, we want more content. COVID hit every big corporation like ginormously. People getting laid off, or people not being able to work as much as they used to. Now you can't go into your own studio and work on these games. So I'm sure production has been sent back. I mean, you saw with the movie industry, they didn't. I mean, a lot of it was they didn't want to release movies when movie theaters weren't out, but they had to push back dates from movies that were going to be filmed because with COVID you weren't allowed to be within a certain amount of feet of each other, or people would get sick, or people's whole scheduling would be marked off. So I assume it'd be harder, of course, to get everybody together to make a game because of COVID in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I think like animation, it's still been going well. I think with gaming, the only thing is like you just have to work remotely, which I can imagine that's difficult. But I don't know. I'm also not a programmer, but it's got to be easier than like getting all these actors together on set, because I mean, like protocol is like intense. I can imagine.
I feel like one big thing when it comes to like making a game is synergy, and I feel like you lose a lot of that when you're not right next to a guy or having like a guy speaking to you face to face saying, "Hey, you should add this. Hey, you should take away this," as opposed to you having to make it, send it to them, and then be like, "Okay, yeah, you should change this." So then you're going. It's more of a back and forth than as a guy being here and be like, "Hey, add this to the code," or "Hey, take this away," and making it change it from there. And the same thing with I was talking about how consoles have been so hard to get because of all like the materials that are made for them, all the chips and all that aren't there because of quarantine happens. A lot of people need computers, and so everybody was pushing into them. So like your Xboxes and your PS5s aren't able to get the right material needed to make them, so it makes it harder to push those back out to the general public, which is why even now a PS5 goes on sale, an Xbox goes on sale, it's gone within 5 minutes. Scalpers get it, raise it to like $1,000 as opposed to $399, $499 is, because it's such a commodity. It's harder to get. And like again, COVID was a big factor in changing the gaming industry, changing business industry, in the past 2 years now.
Absolutely. I don't know why it's taking games so long to be like, especially for GTA 6. I was gonna say, wouldn't it be really fun if they dropped the trailer tomorrow, and then when you have egg on your face?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about the whole Final Fantasy thing. That'll be like an afterthought. Where I thought, for some reason, Sora was in Final Fantasy.
Rockstar is gonna send us a cease and desist. Be like,
why'd you leak it? Why'd you leak it?
GTA 6.
Accomplished.
GTA 6 announcing here. The location is going to be my backyard.
We're going to have some drinks, be a cool reveal party. We're going to show Sans in GTA 6.
Yes.
GTA 6, not my city.
Will be added to GTA 6.
Honestly, I don't know why they do remakes. Like, at least like for me, like I feel like I already remember these games. Like they're not that far from memory. Like I understand maybe like old like NES games, I guess, because that was like many years. But half of these games were like not even like 10 years old or something, and like they're already getting remasters. And it's just like, and to me, it just kind of shows like the life of the half-life of video games now. It's kind of how like fast people are expecting content to be turned out. And so, like, when you say, like, they're not making a GTA 6, my first thought was, like, well, how well did GTA 5 do? And I heard it was pretty well. Like, it had, like...
It's one of the top 3, I think, most, like, money-made games of all time.
Right. So, I mean, I guess it would make more sense to make a sequel and capitalize on that, but why not just keep that and just keep that going, Just keep that train running for, I guess, until they need to.
And now for the Q&A session. RJ, did you have anything to say?
Yeah, to the last point about the remastered stuff. You know what deserves a remaster and got it? Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Let's go. That deserved it. It got it.
Wait,
all the games.
Wait, didn't that just come out?
Yes, boy. And it's remastered of the brilliant Super Monkey Ball.
My only like memories of Super Monkey Ball is me playing Super Monkey Ball on like the GameCube that they had at my dentist office when I was like 11 years old. I remember they had Super Monkey Ball Golf. I thought Super Monkey Ball Golf was a fun game. But like of all the games you want remastered, you got Super Monkey Ball, and that's what you're most hyped about.
I mean, it deserved it. Like, what's the last time you played Super Monkey Ball? Exactly, and forever. And now it's on the Switch. There you go. That's how you do remastered.
I love the fact that any dentist you go to, they all have like either a PS2 or a GameCube.
Mine had a Nintendo 64.
Yeah, that's right. They're all dentists are like gamers. I don't know. And they're like still there, like
they're still there. God bless
them,
souls are
like
still there.
OG, yeah. Sometimes you're just pulling teeth to go there.
Is there a dentistry game?
I'm sure.
The Elsa game, like of the Flash.
No. The Elsa Flash.
You asked.
Ooh.
Well, that's what we really need remastered without.
You were right.
R.I.P. Flash.
Yeah, rip the Flash. I can't believe the show got canceled by CW. How could they do this?
Because they went back in time.
Oh yeah, that's what happens.
I hate when they add time travel to stuff. That's all I'll say.
Understandable for sure.
Yeah, questions. I had some written out. But I did see an article I want to bring up while I was looking for news to talk about today. Snapchat has like news articles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the only news I take is from Snapchat, but I found this article title that spoke to me. A man collapsed from gaming for 73 hours nonstop. So
was he standing?
I don't know, but David, can you tell us about your experience what was it, like 73 hours?
So as I was grinding Genshin Impact for 73 hours straight, I was trying to raise my world level. I was trying to get my Klee artifacts up. I decided, who needs food and water for 73 hours straight? So as I was doing that, I did not sleep for 73 hours. What actually made me collapse wasn't my lack of food, wasn't my dehydration, wasn't my tiredness. It was just the fact that I may or may not have accidentally ascended a certain character way too high. I didn't want to, and by using that, I wasted all my ascension materials. So it was my failure as a gamer that made me collapse, not my failure to eat, sleep, or all that. You don't need all that as a gamer. Gamers basically photosynthesize using the LEDs from the TV. That's how they get their light, actually. And so we photosynthesize. We don't need food, water, or oxygen. So
wow, it's inspirational.
this is why I actually learned in my pre-med classes.
But were you standing? Because you could have like locked your knees, and that could have induced the fainting.
I actually levitate.
That's cool. That's really cool.
No, I mean, so we're gonna go on this topic. With anything that comes with that, automatically people are gonna put gaming under the microscope of being an addiction, and it already is. I think the CDC already has like gaming as labeled as an addiction. With anything, you can be addicted to anything. I don't think it really matters if it's gaming. You could be addicted to eating vegetables. People aren't going to be like, oh man, that guy's eating too many vegetables. Hey, there's too much. You eat too much of them. There's too much of anything. So it just really comes down to being able to, separate yourself and, live a healthier lifestyle than actually is. 73 hours straight of gaming is ridiculous no matter what context.
Not with that attitude.
You see the streamers who do 24-hour streams. I mean, that's fine and dandy. I mean, they take breaks between. They're not standing in front of a screen for 24 hours and not eating or not drinking anything. Now, for somebody to sit in front of a screen for 73 hours straight and doing nothing and collapsing, obviously it's going to make a headline because that doesn't happen a lot. So you're not going to see a headline of local gamer plays game for an hour and a half, takes break to go eat and drink, and then spends time with his family. You're not going to see that. It's not news. At some point as a parent, if you're seeing toxic tendencies between your kid not being able to treat video games as a separate world than the reality, then you have to go in there and be like, hey, look, buddy, I assumed this, but it's just a game. And as opposed to, people blaming their parental failures or people blaming, what happened on just a video game. Again, it just comes down to, bad parenting. It comes down to their outliers. And it's going to make the news easier because, it's bigger news. Yeah, again, that is what it comes down to, I guess.
No, I think you said it perfectly. Just the idea of separating from reality and helping kids not only just separating from reality, but understand you can enjoy real life too. There are nice things outside of video games and such.
Right.
So be holistic. That's very important.
I disagree, David. Playing Farmville as a kid made me start my own farm.
As my mom was playing Candy Crush Saga and sending me all of her invites to play Candy Crush Saga to get her refills.
Yeah, that's addiction right there. I mean, me with Farmville. Do you know how many crops have died on my watch? Needlessly.
Playing Farmville with all my 3 Facebook friends who played Farmville with me.
My mom played Pac-Man, and all she does is run in the maze looking for pellets.
Yeah, I lost my mom to looking for pellets.
She thinks ghosts are real too.
I lost my mom. I lost my mom in a Pac-Man.
I lost my mom in a Pac-Man. Never again. Please donate to my Patreon so my mom can get out of Pac-Man, please.
Yeah, Pac-Man. Basically Tron Legacy, but for Pac-Man. The great movie that Tron Legacy was.
Tron.
How do you think Miss Pac-Man became a thing? It's my mom.
Tron was a video game. Why wasn't that in Smash?
Oh yeah.
Tron.
How funny would it be if they showed the Smash reveal and you saw Mickey Mouse and I was like, it's Sora.
It was Tron.
There was Jeff Bridges and Tron. Well, it's closing time for the Rock Shop.
Can you at least tell us one question? And we'll try to answer as quickly as possible.
Wait, you want me to ask a question or what?
Yes,
Sure.
I desire inquiry.
How was your time on the podcast?
Oh, swell. All right.
No, I think it's pretty chill. Like, I mean, it's games, right? I mean, we grew up playing these. Like, I mean, it differs from person to person. My first ever game was Wallace and Gromit and Project Zoo. So, like, going from like that game to being able to talk about that, so being able to talk about Genshin Impact or like the newest games coming out. It's the wide variety. There's so much you can talk about. There's so much topics I can bring that can be brought out from it. So I think as the podcast goes, I mean, hopefully we get more topics, hopefully we get more news, hopefully we get a GTA 6, some leaks from it, Rockstar. But like,
Rockstar?
yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and so like, as the time goes on, I mean, hopefully we get some more content put out. Hopefully we get some more feedback from other people to like what they want to see.
Yeah, well, like I said, those are good comments. But for now, it's time for the Rock Shop to close its doors until next time. But yeah, thanks to everyone for coming on. Next time, I believe a special guest may are talking about the Suicide
Jack
Squad
Black?
and wait, what? Jack Black? How did you know?
You heard it here.
The special guest and I are dissecting Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad, and I don't know, just all about it. And I'm kind of stoked for that one. And then I'll be having a discussion with creator of this indie comic called Leap. Her name's Christine, and that'll be pretty cool. So
Like Leapfrog, my favorite gaming console.
yeah, no, not that one though. David, you know that comic, don't you? Leap.
If it doesn't have Froppy in it, I'm not interested.
No, it's by Christine from Brian Hall.
Huh. Oh yeah, I know Christine. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I follow her Instagram page for it.
Yeah, she has that webcomic. Yeah, I'm going to be interviewing her, so that'll be neat. But until next time, this has been Rye the Tiger. See you guys.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having us. Have a good one.